In this video, we are going to go over how to start a Zoom call and some of the call features. So first of all, from the meeting page on your Zoom account, you will see all your listed tutorials. Hover over the first meeting listed, the one that we want to start, and we can see the start button on the side. Click on this to start the Zoom call. As a side note, I have the Zoom app already downloaded on my computer, so it asks if I want to launch it in the app. This then launches the meeting in its own window. Next, another pop-up box will appear. We want to select Join with Computer Audio, which is highlighted. I am quickly muting myself and expanding the screen so you can see it better, and so there's no feedback with the recording. Now, as there is no one else in the meeting and I have not started my video, you can see some of the options more clearly on the main screen. However, once students are in the meeting, you won't have that option, so we will be using the bar along the bottom. The bar at the bottom of the screen shows several different options. Some we do not need to worry about, like security and record. The participants option is important as we can see who is present within the meeting, and we can use some of the other features of Zoom as well. So you can see that my name is listed in the participants window, and also that my mic and video are not on, and that I am also listed as the host. If you hover over your name, you will see that you can unmute, but also under More, you can then click to rename. For the sake of this example, I am renaming myself T.A. Kirsty. This will also make you stand out a bit more for students to send you a message on the chat, but they also can see your name when your video is on the screen too. Once I click rename, my name changes. Within this participants window, you can also mute all participants very easily, as well as unmuting all participants. When you click on More at the side, you have a list of different options, like muting participants upon entry, allowing participants to unmute themselves, allowing participants to rename themselves, as well as locking the meeting and enabling the waiting room. Most of these are useful features, but we don't really need to alter them for tutorials. The next important feature to highlight is the chat button on the bottom bar. This is important for you to post information for students, like how to contact you, but it's also important as students can type questions if they want as well. You can also close the chat box so the participants cannot chat if you'd rather. Participants can also send private messages to other participants as well as directly to you, the host. This will be explained later. The next important feature is the screen sharing option. Once selected, a bigger pop-up box comes up with options. In advance of the tutorial, I would suggest pre-opening anything that you might be sharing with students. In this example, we are going to open up a PowerPoint of a quiz. Once selected, this makes the screen that you are sharing shared with all participants as their main screen. We have a toolbar at the top of the screen that can help us with different screen sharing options. You are able to use the main screen of your PowerPoint the way you would normally use a PowerPoint on your computer. But to use the options in Zoom, if you hover over the top of your screen with your mouse, the toolbar reappears. There are different features, like you can annotate your screen, but also under More, you can open the chat feature, record your screen, share your computer sound, which is helpful if you're sharing a video. However, most of these additional features you will not need if you're doing a simple screen share. On the toolbar, you can also start a new share of a different window. As well, you can also pause your screen share, which freezes the screen that you are currently on if you need to check something else on another screen. Beside the pause button is also the ability to stop your screen share. This takes you back to your regular meeting screen. Now we are going to have a participant join the call with us. So we're still going to be in our meeting, and a participant is going to join in. Once they try to join our meeting, a pop-up box will appear where you can admit the participant. You can also click to the side to see the waiting room. This will show you a list of who is in the waiting room and who is in the meeting already. You can then admit the participant by clicking Admit. You also have the option of removing that participant. As a side note, you can also see a feature that I did not directly capture on the video. On the top right-hand corner, you can see Gallery View. This is one of the best features as it then tiles all the participants on your call all over your screen so you can see all the participants. The pop-up box that shows the waiting room is also the participants option that you can click from the bottom menu bar. Within the participants window, you have more features available if you hover over your participant and select More. You can stop their video, ask them to start their video, make them a co-host, rename, or stick them back in the waiting room. You can also chat directly to them through the chat feature if selected, and you can also remove the participant from here as well. This is important if you have someone you do not know who enters the call, or if a participant becomes hostile during the call, you can remove them. You still have all of the options that were available before, like mute all and unmute all, with the same options in More as well. The chat feature pop-up box alters slightly with participants. It gives you more options as you can then select a participant to send a private direct message to, and will also show you who sent the message and to whom they are sending it. You will not be able to see private messages unless they are sent to you. Once there are messages within the chat box, you will be able to save the chat. Saving the chat function is helpful as sometimes you don't know the answer to a question and you might have to follow up with someone. Another feature that I forgot to capture on the original screen recording is the raising hand feature. This allows your students to signal to you that they have a question. This can be seen on the call by a little hand appearing at the side of their video or listed in the participant list beside their name. You can see a pop-up box that appears at the bottom. As host, you will not have the option to raise your hand, but you do have the option of lowering your participants' hands. Those are all the most important features that you will need for your Zoom calls. Lastly, you will need to end the call. To do this, you click at the bottom right-hand corner box, End, and this will give you the option to leave the meeting or to end the meeting for all. As the host, you will want to end the meeting for all.